Hey everybody, it's Tyler Howell, founder and CEO of Whole Property Management. Today we're just talking real quick about how to get your property leased in a rough or a slow rental market. If you are experiencing what we're experiencing here in the Denver, Colorado area right now, which is happening in a lot of metros, is a overall market condition that's slowing down rental properties from being leased. It's dropping rents. One of the big factors that is contributing to this is interest rates. So people are keeping their properties rather than selling them. First, they may have gotten that property at very low interest rate. So they're thinking, why would I get rid of this property? I got it at 2.8 or 3%. That's the cheapest money I'm going to get in my lifetime, and they're not selling. And there's another even larger camp of people who want to sell or tried to sell. They listed the property and didn't really realize that how much of an effect a 7% interest rate is going to have on what they can potentially sell that house for. So they yanked those for sale listings and then they turn that into a rental. All that means is that there's a ton of rental inventory on the market in a lot of places, and we all know how supply and demand works. So we're seeing rents fall and it's tougher to lease properties. So how do we get a property leased in a market like this? Well, what I'd like you to get your head wrapped around is that when market conditions change, really all that does is change the market price of your rental. It shouldn't affect how long it takes to lease it. It shouldn't really affect much else except for the price at which you lease it. So this is not a scenario where, hey, during a hot market, I can rent it for $2,500 in a week, and during this cool market, I can rent it for $2,500 in 4 weeks. That's not really how it works. You're probably not going to ever lease it at that same rate. You got to come down on the rate. So the easiest way to think about how to rent your property is there's really just three factors that control if it leases. Number one is how many eyeballs are on that listing. So if you're self-managing your property and you're just listing on a single website, you're not getting as many eyeballs as needed on that site. So if you manage many rentals or several rentals, you might want to look into systems like Tenant Turner, which allow your listing to be syndicated to all the 20 plus widely used rental sites in the US. So number of eyeballs, number one. Number two is how easy or how convenient is it to tour your unit? If you have an old school approach where, okay, you got to call me, I'm landlord Bob, and I got to meet you during my lunch hour, that's going to be tough. That's going to set you up for failure because today's renter, they don't want to, number one, they don't want to meet you. You're a stranger. They don't want to meet you to walk through your house. I kind of liken it to a test drive of a car. Do you want to test drive that car by yourself or do you want the salesman in the right seat? That's why this self-tour technology has become so standard in the rental property world is because tenants, those prospects want to see the property on their own by doing a self-tour. So you can look into solutions for that and screen that person kind of over the phone, get a copy of their ID, allow them to do a self-tour. And obviously, you want your property vacant, empty. So people don't want to walk through a house that you or a tenant is currently living in. That's just weird. There's psychological factors. It's not convenient. It's not a good experience. If you're trying to show your rental property while you live there or while another tenant lives there, you are setting yourself up for failure. Nobody wants to do that. Show your rental property vacant, professionally clean, in good repair, and with self tours whenever possible. That's going to get you that convenience factor that'll cause people to book tours. Third factor, most important, is price. So again, when the market cools, your price has to come down. Don't think of it as a time being the variable of it's just going to take me longer to get this rate. That's not true. The variable that moves is price. So what you want to do is do a good market analysis where you look at comparable units around you and see if they're moving, see if they're getting clicks and applications. That's easy to do on Zillow, where you can see how many contacts a certain listing is getting. But if you don't see at least three tours being booked in the preceding 7 days, you can, and you're in a large metro area, so you're in a city with, say, a million plus people, like here in Denver, Colorado, we have 3 million people. We know that if we can't book three tours in a week, three tours in that preceding 7 days, that's a clear indication that we're overpriced. So keep track of how many tours you're booking, and every week that you don't book at least three tours, lower your rent rate. So depending on what your starting rate, maybe that's a $100 drop, maybe that's a $200 drop, but drop regularly until you book three tours in a given 7 day period. That's an indication that, hey, people are actually willing to go and take a look at this because the price seems like it might make sense for the unit. So again, three factors are your how many eyeballs are on that listing, how convenient is it to tour it, and number three, most important, price. Be flexible, be mobile with your price, and you will get your property rented in any market condition. If you have any questions, give us a call here at Whole Property Management, 720-737-1373.